I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, and rule and teach well. Peace, of salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. So I'm going to do a lesson in the spirit here, dealing with, I guess if you have a woman, if you have a wife, rib, whatever you want to call her to you specifically, none of my business. But if you are dealing with a woman on a day-to-day basis, all right, um, you should have you should be very cognizant of her diet, and really you should be gearing her diet on how you want to be served in a sense. Now I know both you and her, and I'm speaking personally, we're both slaves. um, we're still in Esau's world. We both have to work, you know. So that's what the scriptures do say. Don't be as a roaring lion in your house. So don't just be here like I'm the man and blah 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 blah. Even though it's blatantly obvious that you are the leader, things of that nature. But you still have to work according to the society that you're in. You got to remember we're not in the kingdom yet. One thing I'll never forget that was said to me by um, Elder Ariala down in Dallas. He said, "You can't never expect a woman to respect you because it's never going to happen, especially on this side. It's never going to happen. That's why I started off with we're both slaves. It's hard for women nowadays to respect a man when they're going through quote unquote the same things a man is going through, meaning they work like a man does. They go have a job, a 9 to 5, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not getting into the particulars of what type of job, but everybody has to work in order to sustain themselves in the society. And as you've seen it a lot lately is, you know, it's something called an independent woman coming up or a career driven woman. So they have this preconceived notion that they're doing the same thing as a man is. So why would I need a man, Buzz? So they're going to look at us a certain way. I'm not sitting here saying that my wife or any of y'all brothers' wives look at you in that manner, but 99.9% of these women out here are in the world. And I say that because like a few years back, Apostle Tahar did a lesson literally naming it 99.9% of women are wicked. So they're in the world. All right. So we're going to get a few things. But the main thing I want to tackle is if you do have a woman, she is your help. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get Genesis real quick. All right. Genesis 2 and 18. And we'll read that really quickly. It says Genesis 2 and 18, and the Lord power said, "It is not good that a man should be alone. I will make him help meet. I will make him an help meet for him." So someone who is acceptable to lend you a hand. The women are supposed to be on this earth to complement the man and to help the man bring forth children, be the incubator to the man, keep the household up for the man, so on and so forth. And I'm going to get scriptures to go ahead and back that as well. And most modern day women, which modern is a new thing, okay? Most modern day women look at that as, oh, you're controlling or abusive or you don't whatever. Really, it's a good thing for you to just be a help to a man. That is your role. That's what you're supposed to embody. That's what you're on the planet Earth for. Any woman going against that, you're going against the grain and you're fucking up the whole, structure of what it is to be. All right. But the main thing is, if you do have a woman, you do need to control her diet according to who you are. All right. So let me get Ecclesiasticus 36, and I'll start at verse 24. It says, "He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest." Exactly. So we just read it in Genesis 2 and 18 that the woman is supposed to establish the help, in the house. Now, what it says in here, it says you begin a possession. So we have the word possession here, or to possess. It means to hold, occupy, or inhabit. It says to have and hold, take, be in possession of. It says continuing. It says to hold as property. Now, this kind of goes into, which I'm going to briefly touch into right now, Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, into this verse that was very controversial back in 2012, 2011, 2012, 2013. Verse Deuteronomy 22 and 28, it says, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, and I'm going to briefly touch on this, which is not betrothed, meaning engaged, and lay hold on her and lie with her, and they be found. So he laid hold on her, meaning he took her as a possession, because that's what possession means, to take. All right. It says, then the man that lay with her shall give the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. So you have gotten a possession. So now let's talk. Okay. When you get a possession, like when you buy a car, it is now yours. But when you get the car and you get possession of the car, that's not it. Now you have to give it an oil change. Now you have to put some gas in it. Now you have to keep the tires rotated. Now you have to put new brakes on it. Now you have to make sure the interior is clean. Now you have to wash the car. Okay? The more miles you put on it, the more you have to take care of it, because it is helping you get from point A to point B. Same thing with property. You buy a piece of land. Okay? You may buy a piece of land, an acre or two, because you want to build a house on it. Now you have to take care of the lawn. If you have a garden, you have to tend to your garden. You have to tend to the ground or the soil that's around you, so on and so forth. You have to tend to your possessions. You can't just own it and neglect it. So it's the same thing when it comes here to a woman. Say you get a girlfriend and you're like, okay, yeah, this is the one. Okay, well, she just can't be a fucking sex doll. The scriptures say it, you know. The scriptures pretty much say it. I'm a loosely paraphrase. Matter of fact, let me see if I can bring it up real quick. I don't want to butcher it. I think it's in the 26th chapter. Y'all know where I'm getting at here. Should be at the very last. Yeah. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 25 and 21. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure. So of course, the first thing, fuck it, we're men. You know, the first thing you're probably going to attract to from a woman is her looks. And your blood's going to start pumping in places. All right, because you want her. You desire her. The word desire means a longing or a love for. All right, but that's not the only reason you should want a woman. When you're ready, you see, a man has to be ready for a woman, and not in a sense of, oh, I got my shit together, but mentally, okay, I do have my shit together. I have things laid out in order. I'm fully self-sustainable. I depend on myself, and I can take care of myself perfectly fine. Everything around me is perfectly in order to the best of my ability to an extent. Maybe I want to add somebody to this. Your mind has to be mentally ready to add somebody. And when you're ready to add somebody, you're not only thinking about physical features and sexual desires. You're thinking, okay, I already have this. What woman can I bring in to enhance this? And it's up to you to choose the right female that you want to enhance your life. Okay? So finally getting to the topic of the lesson, one big thing that you need to do to understand what woman you get, you got to understand the diet she needs to be on that's going to enhance you. So I'm going to read Decoding Your Sex Hormones. It says, let's talk big three, a quick save-worthy guide um, to what they do, how they make you feel in the foods, habits, and supplements that actually move the needle. So, the Glow Queen, estrogen, she's your radiance, brain sharpness, libido, mood, skin glow, cycle rhythm. When she's balanced, everything feels elevated. When she's high or low, it feels chaotic fast. All right, so if you're an individual who needs those things, you need your mood, your skin glowing, things of that nature, you need to put her on these type of diets right here in a list. And of course, you can pause this video and see it. Um, pro, Progesterone, if I'm saying it right, I don't know. She keeps your, matter of fact, hold on. Let me copy this and we're going to paste it. And let's see if we can get the pronunciation.
Progesterone.
Okay. Progesterone. It says she keeps your nervous system grounded, stabilizes your mood, helps you sleep, supports metabolism, and makes PMS quieter. When she's low, anxiety and irritability show up fast. See, and these are things that she should be eating. Now, if you want your woman, or if you have a woman that's like this, you need to make sure she's on the correct diet. All right, so if you're an individual who suffers with a lot of depression, a lot of high anxiety, high irritability, you get irritated quickly, you get agitated quickly, and you have a woman and you don't know why, maybe y'all are fighting all the time or something like that, you need to put her on a diet that's going to control her hormones so she can be the actual help that you need her to be, so she can ground you, so she can stabilize you. Okay. I watched a video some years back by this one white woman. She named it, "You have to F the war out of him." Because a man is always on go. All right. Even when we're asleep, our conscience is always awake. So therefore, we're not getting a true rest. So an individual like that needs a woman, if he wants one. He needs a woman that can calm him down and make his environment not feel so hostile, because when he's out in the world, it's already like that. So they have to F the war out, war at him. All right. Meaning you have to stabilize his mood. And this goes to you women. You got to stabilize our men mood. You got to help us sleep and calm down. You know, again, it supports metabolism. So therefore, you're not going to see yourself getting overweight. All right. So going down to the last one, testosterone says your strength, Gert, confidence, and ability to follow through. So if you're a man who's really, has super alpha male type sense, because I'm gonna sit here and be 100 with you, you know, some men are more alpha than the next, and I say some men are more alpha than the next, and I'm not calling anyone, because I'm speaking to the bros. I'm not calling any bro beta, because all of us are alpha males. But there's some that are just more alpha than the next, and that's just the way the fucking cookie crumbles. That's the way the snowball rolls down the hill. If you want to be offended on it, you can, but it's whatever. That's why we have positions and leaders and order within the camp. The men that are established just have an alpha character. All right, it just is what it is. All right, there's a wolf pack. All right, you have an alpha of the wolf. Does that mean all the other wolves are bitches? No, each and every single one of the wolf will tear your ass apart. See what I'm saying? It's the same thing with us. All right, we're alphas, but then we have alpha alphas. It just is what it is. Certain men who are like that may need a woman on this tone right here. It says your strength, your girt, confidence. You don't need a woman who's, maybe. Of course, we want a woman who's effeminate in her feminine nature, but there are some women who are a little bit stronger. You see what I'm saying? They're a little bit tougher than the average, and a man of that character may need a woman like this to keep your grit, your confidence, your ability to follow through. It says when testosterone is dialed in, you feel unstoppable. It says when it's off, everything feels flat, fuzzy, or sluggish. So um, this is what maybe you should be feeding her ass. Of course, when you look at these things on the chart, take the bones, you know, take the bones out the meat, all right? Because it sit here and it says oysters and shit, no, but other than that, you know, these are some like a platform or something that you can follow, and you got to know what kind of person you are to give the diet. Or let me say this, you got to know what type of person you are to understand what type of woman you need. But if you're already in a situation, you need to understand what type of woman you're with in order to put her on a particular diet to regulate her mood. Okay, you may be a high testosterone alpha male, but be with the glow queen. You see what I'm saying? And you got to figure out how that is going to work, and then do according to what you have in your household. I'm just speaking diet, okay? Because it's very pivotal, because diet does control your swings and your moods. So with that being said, let's just go to 1 Corinthians 7:1. It says, now concerning things wherefore we wrote unto me, you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Right. So pretty much we're in this ministry. It's best just to be a single man, and just focus on the ministry. But like I said in the inception of this lesson, if you are with a woman who already have a rib, maybe you should deal with her in a certain way when it comes to her diet so it can best suit you. You know, it's almost a manipulation game. You feed her the things that are going to control her mood that is going to make you happy. All right. Because again, we started this lesson with a possession and what that means. And when you control something or when you take hold of something, that means you have to take care of it as well, because now you own it. Okay. You just don't want to, own a car and then treat it like a piece of shit and then get mad that it doesn't run anymore, but you haven't given an oil change in fucking 15,000 miles when you should be changing it every 3 to 5,000 miles. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with a woman. All right. You sit here and have a woman, but you're fucking broke all the time. All right. But you're broke and you can't take care of her. And then you wonder why she's all pissy and mad at you. And then you sit here and read the scriptures and you be out in camp, talking shit. Yeah. Shit. A woman that maintaineth a man is full of impudence and anger. Let me read it real quick. This is the next verse 22. Sirach 25 and 22. Okay, it says, a woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. Yeah, maintain her husband is full of anger. So what, you gonna get mad at her because she mad at you? Because she's maintaining you when you're supposed to be maintaining her and maintaining the household? What, you gonna get mad at her quick dumbass decisions? Because that's what happens when sometimes when you get down, a woman will have to make a decision and she makes a hasty decision that's fucking dumb, but you're in no position to say anything because you're not maintaining anything. Okay? And then reproach. Now she has the audacity. You see what I'm saying? What, you're gonna get mad at it? You're gonna get mad because she's mad all the time? Well, why don't you get your shit together? Why don't you reconsider that you got her in the first place? All right? I'm not saying regret, but reconsider. Like, damn, well, was I ready for a woman? You probably weren't, but now now you're in this situation. Now you better get your shit straight, all right, before your heart gets broken, because that's what's going to happen. It says, a wicked woman abateth courage, maketh a heavy countenance. I'm reading all this. It says, a wicked woman abateth. So, real talk, because you got to read verse 22 and flow into 23. If a woman is maintaining a husband, at the end of the day, verse 22 and 23 is your motherfucking fault. It's your fault. Oh, she's pissy and mad all the time. Well, she wouldn't be pissy and mad all the time if you would eat a job, or if you would work out and keep yourself, above water, your head above water. If you would, look the part, if you would conduct yourself, if you would stop being so effeminate, she wouldn't be a wicked woman abating your courage. It says, make it a heavy countenance, meaning your face. It says, in a wounded heart, and then breaking your heart, because women know how to hurt men. Women know what buttons to push. There's plenty of buttons, and there's plenty of intensities, and then naggings. You got to read about Samson. All right, they know what buttons to push, but at the end of the day, who the fuck made her like that? You, nigga. You knew the whole time that women are of the world. They're worldly ass fucking creatures. Let's go back to First Corinthians. Because Paul lets us know. So I'm going to read a little bit and I'm going to skip down to like verse 30. 1 Corinthians 7:2. Nevertheless, avoid fornication. Let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have their own husband. All right, so let's go back to Sirach 36:24. And I want to read this in the GNT, but I'm going to read it again. He that getteth a wife beginneth the possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. Right. So pretty much if you don't put a hedge of protection, someone else is going to come in and swoop her ass because they're worldly and they're going to be swooned easily. So let's get this in the GNT real quick. I know I had it up here. So there we go. Sirach 36:24 says, when a man marries, he gets the finest thing he will ever have. And I'm going to sit here and be honest with you. It's true on the worldly side. You know, when you get a woman, that's like, oh shit, you know, you brag about it, you're happy, you're all in this fucking honeymoon stage and shit. you know, you fucking whatever. It says a woman to help. It says a wife to help and encourage him. Okay. Scoot this over here. Yeah. So you see, it's a pillar of rest because you're being encouraged, meaning she's building up your confidence. Because that's if you're in a healthy relationship, that's what happens. Your confidence is built. Okay. It says if property is not fenced in. Okay. Again, he that getteth a wife beginneth the possession. And I talked about owning land in the beginning of this. If you're not taking care of it, I didn't even mention that. The scriptures did. If you don't fence your property, like the scriptures say, unwalled villages, what do you expect then? Okay? So it's the same thing with your woman. You have began a possession. All right? Fence your property. All right? Make it work for you. It's just like money. It's just like money. With the scriptures in Ecclesiastes talks about money, or how you need to let your money work for you. It teaches us how to invest. All right, investing is the best thing that you can do because you're gonna let while you're not doing anything, your money is doing something. You know, while you're sleeping, your money is working. All right, you always want to have something working in the back end. It's the same thing with a woman. All right, you gotta keep her up so she can be that true help that you need her to be in your life. All right. This is Proverbs 31. Let me see. Proverbs 31 in 27. It says, she looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Right. The scriptures say in Ecclesiasticus, to put that servant to labor. It says much idleness teaches much wickedness. So when you begin that possession, you need to put her to work. And one way to put her to work is to make sure that her diet is on point according to your personality and hers. You manipulate that to what she needs to eat to better suit your personality so your world can be at peace. And at the same time, you're taking care of her. She's on a good diet. Next thing you know, she's losing some weight. What they say, waist snatched, looking good as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Now you got a little baddie by your side. Now you feel all confident. And when you walk around, you're like, damn, how did you bag her? Exactly, nigga. Because I take care of my property. You take care of her property. You take care of the woman, then you take care of her mental state. You boost her confidence, and both of y'all elevate. That is how you make a power couple. And this is for the men who are in relationships, or quote unquote relationships. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's go back. It says, if property is not fenced in, thieves will wander in and help themselves. It says, and if a man has no wife, he is a sighing wander. That's why we go back to First Corinthians. It says, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Okay? Now let's jump down to verse 30 or 32. Let's do 33. Yes, First Corinthians 7 and 33. It says, but he that is married care for the things. Now I'll start at 32. It says, but I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried care for the things that belong to the Lord. So yes, I'm gonna sit here and regurgitate what Paul is saying. If you are single, stay single. Just stay single. Not saying I hate the position that I am, because I personally have a rib, but I understand. Just stay single. You don't have to worry about emotions. You don't have to worry about feelings. You don't have to worry about somebody else. All right? It says, how he may please the Lord. Right. And you just put your full focus in the ministry, into yourself spiritually, and work out your own salvation. But if you have a woman, which is okay to have, you got to move. You got to move different, and you got to operate different, but you have to understand what you got yourself into. It says, verse 33, but he that is married care for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. And again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. When you get a wife, you are supposed to love her. I'm going to jump back up. Okay? I'm going to jump back up in this chapter. It says, First Corinthians 7 and 3, it says, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The benevolence means kindness, and through kindness you show love. Okay? But through that love and kindness that you show to your woman, you do have to worry about the affairs of this world. All right? What she's into. Oh, babe, I want to watch Bridgerton on Netflix. Huh? Fuck. Babe, can we please go out? You got to take her out every now and again, but you have to take care of your possessions, you know? But anywho, you got to put her on the right diet according to your demeanor, your personality, so your household can be put in order. If she's not on a good diet, she's going to give you hell. Straight up. If she's not on a good diet, she's going to give you hell. Babe, do I look fat? Nah, but in all seriousness, a good diet starts a good life. You know, the scriptures say it, man. Bodily exercise profiteth little. It doesn't say a good diet profits little. A good diet profits a lot. You have to feed yourself and your woman the correct diet in order to have a healthy, sustaining, long-lasting relationship. And then you can easily manipulate her in a manner that you want her to be manipulated in to help you at her fullest capacity. Because again, that's why she's on this planet Earth, to help you. She's on this earth to help you. All right? It is you that 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 it is you that she's on this earth to help. Okay? And you have to make sure that's right. So Proverbs 31:15 says, she raiseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. So they're feeding the right things. Okay, you need to feed your woman the right things. All right, build her confidence. All right, and just gear her to how you need to be served in a sense. Okay, So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the ones who do have. Um, until next time, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, to and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Till the next time, Shalom, and like always, repent for Yahweh Shai is coming back sooner than what we believe. All right, Shalom.